Hello, welcome to another video. Alright, so we have already made some mistakes. We're on to sections 3, 4, and possibly even 5. Today we will be continuing the painting process on our main body piece, the monocoque, whatever, I forget how do you say it. I had to go ahead and sand it down and repaint it because I left the blue tape on there for too long. And this stuff left a mess behind and it was a whole nightmare. So if you're going to be using the blue tape, lesson learned, don't leave it on for too long. Use it and take it off immediately because it's gonna leave some stickies. So yeah, we're going to be going ahead and masking this up to paint the yellow on here. And then this is going to have to wait and cure before we can apply the decals that go on here. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to place this onto the main chassis as well as this other piece just to line everything up and mask it all off together so everything is lined up. And then yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do some painting today, and I'll probably jump ahead to section 5 to get a head start on the engine, since we're gonna have to, like I said, wait for some of these pieces to cure before we can proceed. This is what we got so far. We got a little front steering assembly functioning. Boom. Pretty neat. And today we'll also be painting the little seat. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and speed it up so you guys can see everything and it won't be too long of me talking and, you know, applying the decals and stuff. I mean, not the decals, the masking. So we're gonna go ahead and speed it up so I can show you guys the whole process of masking this up, and I'll probably pause it to show you guys the painting process. With the yellow, we won't be able to do a whole lot today because we're gonna be constrained to the waiting for paint to cure. And then yeah, we're gonna do as much as we can though. So tag along. Okay guys, so we got our first layer of paint down of the TS16. Looks pretty good so far. The back piece here looks pretty good. Good sheen to it. First coat, so we're gonna put probably 1 or 2 more coats, and then we're gonna take this masking off and get it ready for some decals. So right now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start painting this. I also gotta go ahead and start with this whole section here. So some of these are X18. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna cheat a little bit and use the spray paint for some of these pieces, and then we're gonna go ahead and start masking up the bottom chassis part so we could lay some paint down on this big part and then these little vents. So we'll see. Alrighty y'all, and we're back. The camera died and I just went ahead and slapped up most of the decals on here. We made some minor mistakes along the way, but it looks pretty good for the most part. I'm trying to rush getting the decals on because I want them to cure for as long as possible before I lay down the clear coat on them. Because my first experience doing this, I didn't wait long enough, and the clear coat wasn't the best. It was not the best over the decals. So we want to let them cure, let all the moisture get pulled out of it before we start sending some clear coat over it. But we finished the cockpit as well. I had a minor smudge down here with the red. When I try to apply it, I might try to give it a little touch up, but yeah, it looks pretty good, pretty neat, I'd say. And what else did we get done here? I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get some more of the final decals done. I guess today I'm really just gonna focus on finishing up as many decals as I can over the car so we can lay the clear coat on, and that won't be a worry any longer for the rest of the build. But I'm very happy with the back piece. Here we had the least amount of mistakes, just a minor misalignment here at the back. It was pretty tough to get it aligned. And then as you can see as well, I tried to flatten the meeting of the paint where the yellow meets the white. There was a little ridge. I try to flatten it out with some thinner and some sandpaper, but you can still see it a little bit. Got some minor loss of decal right on these little vent entrances because I used a not so sharp hobby knife. So another lesson learned there, always use a fresh hobby knife when you're gonna cut some decals because it'll cut a lot smoother and you won't have any issues. Also had a little bit of decal lost there. Overall, it's not perfect. Look at that thing.
What the hell is even that?
Anyways, we didn't get it perfectly aligned because these two blue ones weren't perfectly aligned to begin with. But I think I could have made it work because in the end, it's not, the red stripe isn't perfectly aligned. So maybe if I had just shifted it slightly this way, it would have made it nicer. But this is the first car, first F1. So I can't keep making these excuses for too long. So we'll see how it goes. Alright guys, so we are pretty much all done with these sections so far. Obviously we have some of the future sections already done with this back cowl. I think that's how you say it. But all in all, it looks pretty good.